What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be looking into Raw, the last Raw that we had, and what happened with it. So, honestly, I like some things, and I really don't like other things that are happening. So we're going to talk about all that, why I feel that way, and of course, this is only one man's opinion, so please share yours down below in the comments. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. Like I said, we're going over the entire show, top to bottom, this long-ass show. We're going to talk about every detail that we possibly can and what's going on. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the good, we're going to be talking about the bad, and we're going to be talking about the continued disrespect given to Io Sky. I can't handle it. But before we get there, we've got to talk about the beginning of the show. We started this episode with none other than the Yeet Man himself, Jey, main event Uso. My man just killing it right now. He's on top of the world, cloud 9 times oblivion. Amazing start to Raw. Look, I'm on the bandwagon, okay? I'm the front runner of that thing too. I've been saying all along, the way he yeets down to the ring alone makes him main event worthy. I mean, you look at him in the crowd, and he's eating with all the kids and the families, and it's just so sweet and wholesome. How could you boo it? How could you not like what's going on? I mean, granted, you have the right to your own opinion, so maybe you don't like it. Maybe you're like, screw them kids, all right? Screw the merch, screw the yeet. I'm not a fan. Me, personally, I think it's amazing. And so more on that in a second, but he did take his time getting down to the ring as usual. He yeeted down the ramp. He yeeted in the ring, he yeeted on the table, just everywhere. And then he was getting ready to talk, and the crowd said, we're not done yet. So they asked one more time. So he gave an encore, just like he did last week. So there he goes again. And he ends up on the announce table, and this is where things get interesting, because we hear Michael Cole shouting, oh my God, turn around, please. And he doesn't turn around. And instead gets attacked from behind by the ring general himself, Gunther. No! Look, I thought this was great. So Jey Uso, of course, is babyface mania right now. And Gunther gets absolutely booed out of the building for attacking Jey Uso. And Gunther, did I say that? Yeah, Gunther gets booed for attacking Jey Uso. And it's amazing. Okay, so he attacks him. He's dressed in all black. He's in full heel form. And then he leaves. After attacking him, he has to get pulled away by security, and then he leaves. Everybody's upset. People are crying. It's heartbreaking. But then Jey grabs a microphone, and as he's laying there selling his injuries, he looks half dead. He goes, I shouldn't say this. But I will see you at WrestleMania. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been rumored for ever since Jey won the Royal Rumble. This is a very controversial call, I know, in the wrestling community, but it looks like 100% we're going with Jey Uso versus Gunther. He announced it. He called him out. This is what we're doing, and other people mentioned it in the show. So, look, me, personally, I think this is awesome. I absolutely want to see this match again. Now, I know we've seen it before, and I know that it hasn't necessarily lived up to the hype in some ways. Call me optimistic. I think this is different. I think, for one, you've got a way more established Jey Uso than ever before. He's never been more popular. And two, you've got a very established heel champion in Gunther. And I mean, I don't think he's been this much of a heel in WWE yet. So I think you have, yes, it's the same match, but you've got two stars who are more over than ever before in different ways. You've got a feud that has more meaning to it than it did in the last encounters that they had. So because of that, I think it's going to be a great match. I think it absolutely could main event WrestleMania Night 1. Definitely not Night 2. But I think it could. I think it has enough power. I think it's between this, and I think it's between the triple threat, Drew, Punk, Punk. I say that because I think Drew should be in it still. Punk, Seth, and Roman. So it's between those. I don't know. But either way, I'm super excited to see where this goes. But then we moved on to some not so fun things happening on Raw. In my opinion, we had Rhea Ripley being interviewed backstage when Io Sky interrupted her, and I was like, "Yay! I love Io to death. I think she's amazing." way underutilized. I say that every single week because it's true. When she then says, I'm coming for you. You cost me a chance for you, but I'm coming for you. So let's jump to this. So this happened later on, but I'm going to talk about all this in this segment right here. Later in the night, Rhea then went back to Io and found her and was like, look, I'm going to give you a title shot. Not because I feel like I have to, but because I want to. And so she tells Io, it is going to be you versus me for the Women's World Championship. At Elimination Chamber? No. At WrestleMania? Absolutely not. It's going to be taking place on the Raw after Elimination Chamber. What are we doing with this? What are we talking about? Look, I don't care that it's on Netflix. A Raw is still a Raw. You can paint lipstick on a pig, but you can't make him a horse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still a Raw. It still feels like, I mean, there's no way she's going to win that match. And there's no way that it's just going to make her look weaker, I think, in my opinion. So I think it's dumb. Maybe I'm blind with my love for Io Sky because she is like my favorite wrestler right now. So I just hate to see it. Like I said, it's hard being an Io Sky fan in this day and age. You just want her to get to the top, but there seems to be hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Now let's get to the match that she was in. But overall with that, not a fan, did not like it. It's going to be a great match, but I think the Raw after Elimination Chamber, what are we talking about? But that does bring me to our first match of the evening. It was Damage Control, a returning Dakota Kai. Great to see her back with Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, just for funsies. Okay, so here we go. In general, good tag team wrestling. Nothing crazy with this match. Nothing that really stood out to me as far as like technical 5-star classics, but it was a good tag team match. Top to bottom was great. I'll just say it. I love Dakota Kai and I love all the women in there, but the crowd was silent until Io Sky started delivering her amazing offense. So I rest my case, okay? There's a reason I'm such a fan, okay? And why everybody else is too. She just delivers every single time she's in the ring. She has that star energy and has the wrestling ability to back it up. She's had it for years outside of WWE. We're ready, all right? We're ready for this movement. One of the things that happened was a beautiful missile drop kick, getting amazing height to Liv Morgan, going for the over the moonsault. I finally figured out that's the name of her finish, which was blocked, but then that block was blocked by Io, who delivered a backbreaker for only a 2 count. And again, shout out to Liv Morgan as well. She did a phenomenal, and not only is she doing amazing, she's very tough. Because somewhere in the middle of this match, she gets busted open, and it looks absolutely brutal. It's a huge gash on her forehead, and she just starts bleeding everywhere. But she doesn't quit. So, I mean, good on her. She delivered an amazing performance. She's been delivering amazing performances. Liv Morgan is no slouch. So I don't exactly know where it happened. I saw a report that I think it was like a kick from Io, maybe with her knee. That very well might have been what happened, but she just kept on going. So she just kept on wrestling like nothing was wrong, and she posted about it on social media. Hey, run with it. Run with that, dude, because that's just when a wrestler gets busted open for real, it just adds more credibility to them anyway. So good stuff here. Everybody's in the ring. Ref doesn't give a crap. He's letting everything go. Io Sky hits the over the moonsault to officially pin Liv Morgan. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So at least we gave Io the win here. Dakota Kai looking pretty good. I hate to say it, but I'll just a little insert here. I'm just not super impressed with Raquel Rodriguez at the moment. I think she was like the weak link of the match in general. But the match was great. Everything was amazing. So it was good. It was fine. Moving on to match number 2, we did have an Elimination Chamber qualifying match showcasing the women pretty prominently in this episode, which was awesome. We had Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. My only complaint with this is, of course, that Lyra is already the Intercontinental Champion. Not only is she the Intercontinental Champion, she's the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. So I don't think she should be trying to go after another title. I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, yeah, get your belts, but she should be trying to focus on making this the most important title in the company, right? So we're not doing that quite yet. I think that's going to turn around, though, with what happens later on. So fingers crossed for that. Let's talk about this match first. So back and forth wrestling, I thought it was a great job going back and forth, test of strength, arm drag, headlocks, doing some drag stuff, and holds, right? So it was just wrestling to start. I thought it was great. The crowd not super into it at this point, but they would wake up a little bit later. So going to the finish of the match, Lyra gets her head thrown into the ropes by Bayley, but she goes and recovers and goes for an amazing pin attempt. A couple of just athletic pin attempts from Lyra that just showed off her athleticism. And if you saw her Sheamus workout video, you have a whole new appreciation for Lyra. Like she's strong and very athletic, and that's puts that in the full display here. She's just very smooth with her wrestling transitions. So shout out to her. But at the end of the match, Lyra goes for a roll up. Bayley counters it into a pinfall of her own for the 1, 2, 3. Nothing crazy here. This is exactly what I predicted. I did predict Bayley going into the Elimination Chamber. She's in the Elimination Chamber. Is she going to win? I don't think so. But, hey, she's in it. Hooray. Overall, decent match, and I hope moving forward we can just have Lyra focus on being the Intercontinental Champion, because she is that, and she's amazing in the ring. She has a phenomenal character with the woos and all that stuff, so just let her shine. And it is going to be her versus Ivy Nile. I'm pretty sure they had a little confrontation in the back. So we're setting that up. So let's make that actually happen. Let's put it at Mania. Let's showcase this, and let's showcase Chelsea Green. We need to put them in a bigger light. I say we like I'm running the show. WWE needs to put them in a bigger light, in my opinion, because right now they're not doing a lot with those titles. It was kind of like spectacle for Raw, but it hasn't been anything else since then. So let's try to amp that up. Speaking of amping things up, or I guess amping things down, Penta did not wrestle on this Raw, which was the first time since his debut, and everybody freaked out. Oh my God, I heard he got demoted. I heard that it's the end of the era. Like, guys, let's calm down. He's not on this show. He had a wrestling match, I think, before the show or something like that, but it was announced that he's going to wrestle Pete Dunne next week on Raw. He's fine. We had a video package for him. It's all good. And if you saw his interview with Chris Van Vliet, I think that's how you say his name. I go between that and Vliet. I don't know. I feel like I've heard both. Anyway, how could you not respect this man? He's working hard. He wants to go to WrestleMania. We're gonna do something with him. I think it won't be he won't be like in a main eventer spot at this year's WrestleMania, but in the future, absolutely. We're gonna just keep on rolling with the Penta train. I mean, just the merch alone is going to be phenomenal for WWE. It already has been. And we've got to see Penta versus Rey at some point. So we're moving on from that. He didn't wrestle this time. I think it's fine. We're still talking about him right now. So he's still in everybody's minds. Moving on to somebody who does deserve all the reaction they got. It was AJ Styles returning to Raw, and he did not let us down. It was so sweet. He came out. Crowd chanting his name. Welcome back. Everybody's loving this man. You can see it got to him. He was super emotional out there. And it got me emotional too. I love AJ Styles. Been following him since TNA. And TNA was actually, fun little quick fact about me, my first taste of wrestling in general. AJ Styles has been at the beginning of my wrestling journey, period. So I think it's amazing to see him still in WWE, still getting these amazing reactions. And he wants to remind everybody that he still is the phenomenal AJ Styles when he gets interrupted by Dominic Mysterio and Carlito. And I can never get tired of seeing Dom try to talk. It's amazing. He just gets absolutely obliterated with boos. I think the thing is, he wanted to say, like, basically all he wanted to say was, you're not everything that you're cracked up to be, and we run Monday Night Raw. But it took him 15 million years to say it. Just throw all the boos. So you give him like 2 lines. It's going to take 30 minutes for him to get through it. And I love it. I think that's one of the highlights that we have right now in WWE in general. I need a compilation of this immediately, of just him getting always booed like this. It's so funny. When he finally does say what he needs to say, AJ interrupts and is like, yeah, things have changed. For once, for instance, you lost Damian and you lost Rhea. I don't see him anywhere. Where the heck is Finn, by the way? He's almost out the door. You guys are falling apart. I'm not scared of you. You're not the same Judgment Day you used to be. Let's go. You're always going to be, and he said this to end it, you're always going to be Rey Mysterio's punk-ass kid. Talking to Dominic Mysterio. Boom! Shots fired. And indeed, a fight broke out, ending with a phenomenal 4-on-2 Carlito. He's back. Let's do it. And it was announced later on, I'll say that right here, that next week on Raw, we are going to have Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for his first official match back. I think it's going to be amazing. Looking forward to that. And that wasn't all, because again, later in the show, I'm going to put it in this little section about AJ. He was stared down by Braun Breaker. And that was it, by the way, which is also so funny, because how do you react? You come back to work, and one of your coworkers just goes to you and is like, I'll see you around. Like, I'm filing a complaint. Okay, so we're probably going to set that up at some point. Will it be Mania? Maybe. Will it be before that? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. The thing with WrestleMania is that we want all these matches on there, but there can only be so many slots. It's so competitive. But again, shout out to WWE and the fact that we have so many stars. We just don't have enough room, even though we have a 2-night WrestleMania. So I don't know if it's going to be on this WrestleMania or even on the show. It might be, or it might be like on the Raw after, because apparently they're doing that now. Or it might be on Elimination Chamber, or maybe even the Raw after Elimination Chamber. I guess we're just putting people on there for absolutely no reason. So we'll see what happens. And then Seth and Finn were, Seth was interviewed. Finn interrupted. Not much to say here. It was more of just like setting up their match for next week, because they're going to be in Elimination Chamber qualifying match together. Moving on, nothing noteworthy here. But what was noteworthy was American Made versus the War Raiders for the tag titles. It's a great match. So breaking down, it was just athletic men doing athletic things. I never get tired of seeing the War Raiders compete. Ivar doing his things that he should not be doing by any stretch of the imagination. Things that I could only dream of doing. And at his size, he's doing them just in his sleep. It's crazy. So he does like the handstand stuff, flipping off of the ropes, just amazing stuff. And so you just got to go and check out this match. It was a highlight for me. Crowd was super electric. This is awesome chants all the way through. I can't tell you, I can't articulate everything that happened. So you just got to go and check it out for yourself. Let's go straight to the finish, though. So the finish kind of goes like this. Now, this was interesting. So we had a great match, athletic contest, when Julius Creed leaps to the top rope like it was nothing. He leaps up there like he was just walking up a step. Crazy. Superplex to Ivar. Crazy. Brutus Creed does a moonsault and goes for the pin, but then it gets broken up. Does not win right there. When all of a sudden, Julius gets the tag title and just hits Ivar with it blatantly in front of the referee to get the disqualification. Now, look, I've said this before. At first, I was like, and it was anticlimactic, absolutely anticlimactic. And I'm never really a fan of DQ finishes in general. I think they're kind of lazy. I think this one could work. So I thought about it. At first, I was like, bummer. Then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, well, obviously Chad Gable's going to be super upset when he returns from his quest of figuring out the dark arts of Lucha, to find that they did this and pretty much squandered their chance to get titles, because they were supposed to have titles before he came back. So if we play it into that correctly, I think it could work in his favor, showing them as inexperienced, showing them as, kind of hot-tempered still. And Chad, the veteran, is going to be really upset at them for doing something so dumb. So right now, anticlimactic finish to a great match. In the future, could work out as far as story. So we'll just keep watching that tinker along. That brings me to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have one more segment and one more match. So CM Punk does come out. Huge ovation, huge pop. He addresses John Cena for using his power to get into the Elimination Chamber, but it says it's not going to work out for him, because he's going to go and he's going to beat him up and he's going to take his spot. He's going to break his neck. He's going to do what he needs to do to get in the chamber. He addresses everybody in the chamber right now, and even addresses Seth Rollins. And guys, at least pretend that Finn Balor has a chance next week. They absolutely do not do that. And it's a foregone conclusion that Seth Rollins is going to be in the chamber. Everybody knows it. CM Punk's not pretending. WWE is not even pretending that Finn has a shot. So fair enough. Okay. And then CM Punk says that WrestleMania 41 belongs to him. When Logan Paul interrupts him, he just is too eager. He's got a main event match against Ray. He can't wait. He has to come out and get a few words. And a few words, he does get out. But it is a struggle, much like Dominic Mysterio. And CM Punk, I love CM Punk's little jabs he kind of throws in there under his breath. So his first one, whenever Logan Paul came out, was he said, I didn't even know whose music that was, which is hilarious, which is fair, because Logan Paul's music is not good at all. It's so generic. But anyway, he comes out, tries to speak, gets absolutely obliterated with boos. Punk says, "You would think you were Dominic Mysterio with the way you're getting booed." Eventually, he just starts saying, "I'm going to win." Blah, 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 blah. And then we end with another CM Punk line, which is him saying, honestly, Logan, I didn't even mention you because I forgot you were in a match to begin with for this. So just completely shattering Logan Paul. Punk being like, you're not even on my radar right now. When Rey Mysterio comes out, and of course that transitions very smoothly. I like when they do that. To our main event, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the Elimination Chamber qualifying spot. Here we go. As far as main events go, I'm going to be completely honest. I love Rey Mysterio, and I don't love Logan Paul, but I know that he's a worker. He absolutely is phenomenal in the ring. This was not their best showing, in my opinion, as far as one-on-one matches. It was a little miscommunication in the beginning. They were doing some weird bumping into each other, and it was just kind of sloppy, and I say that with love, okay? Love these guys. Well, I love one way more than the other. They're great, phenomenal, amazing talents. Just a little off night in my opinion. Maybe you think differently, but I was not that impressed with this match. Some things that did happen that were cool. I mean, Rey Mysterio at his age still diving, doing a corkscrew on the Logan Paul from the ring to the outside is amazing. And then Logan Paul doing a moonsault slam to Rey Mysterio, which was absolutely insane. Highlight of the match for sure. And then Rey doing a sit-out powerbomb to Logan Paul, which you never see Rey do like any power moves. So that was weird to see, but in a good way. So they had great moments and great spots. I just think chemistry-wise and like as far as if we're talking about the smoothness of the match in general, not my favorite, but not knocking them in any other way because they're amazing. So finish goes like this. It was what we predicted. 619 connects with Logan Paul, and he goes for the drop, but Logan gets his knees up, and then he gets out that titanium right hand, that big old son of a gun, and just punches Rey right in the face, and then drops him with a suplex kind of polarizer thing, which they then called the Paul-verizer. All right, so maybe that's a new finish. I have no idea. It obliterates Rey Mysterio. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So Logan Paul is in the chamber. Didn't expect anything less. I think it's a good move. It's a wise move. As far as main events, not my favorite, but what can you do? Thought it was it was decent. It was fine. And then the New Day came out to attack Rey, but that's all I can tell you because the feed cut off as soon as they started hitting them. So I don't know if that was intentional. If it was, okay, I guess. I would like to have seen where that went, but I didn't. So I'm assuming they attacked him and then left, and we're probably going to set up something with that. Rey Mysterio and the LWO versus the New Day. So, okay, that was Raw. Overall, not my favorite episode of Raw. I thought it was weaker in a lot of parts. The main event, like I said, wasn't my favorite main event. In general, the matches, like they just furthered the story of the Elimination Chamber, but not much else if you look at it from a whole. Not much else of substance on this episode. The biggest thing we got, I think the biggest news was Jey Uso did declare that he was going to fight Gunther at WrestleMania, confirming it for everybody. And I'm going to start giving grades for the whole episode. So for this week, I'm going to have to give this one a B-. Okay, it wasn't bad. There were some great moments. Maybe I'm just pressed because of EO. To me, it was just slightly below average. So it's going to get a B-. Fine show, but I've seen better. So, yeah, if we go down to favorite matches, my favorite match was the tag team match. Despite the finish, the screwy finish, I thought it was just a phenomenal competition. Crowd was super hot. Good stuff. Least favorite match, again, main event just didn't live up to the main event hype in my opinion, but it's fine. Moving on to the favorite segments. It was Jey Uso yeeting everywhere and declaring for the WrestleMania main event against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Love to see it. Can't wait to see it. And then my least favorite segment, again, I'm just super pressed, I guess, because it was Rio and EO. It was Rhea and EO backstage. Just not a fan of what they're doing here. The Raw after Elimination Chamber. What are we even doing? But that's fun. So we're going to keep seeing where this goes. Keep an eye out for these storylines. And I'll see you guys on SmackDown.